The Apple Watch is one of those Apple products that doesn't leak out as much information early on as other Apple products like the iPhone, but as we get really close to the launch of the new Apple Watch Series 7, we are getting even more groundbreaking leaks detailing what might end up being one of the biggest updates to the Apple Watch yet, with what we were already expecting with a brand new squared off design, but also a surprise display size increase on both models, as well as a few other details that could spark some outrage on watch band compatibility, and is it even possible that the Series 7 could end up getting delayed, and how long will you have to wait to get one? Hey, what's going on everyone? Greg here, and honestly, I thought I wasn't going to touch on any more leaks with the Apple Watch Series 7, but we got some pretty important last-minute leaks about the size and design of the new Series 7, as well as some other potential features that I think you'll want to hear about before we get some of those Apple press invites, which actually should be going out pretty soon. So let's talk about the Apple Watch Series 7. But also, before we get into that, if you're new here or a returning viewer that hasn't subscribed, get subscribed now, because September is going to be a busy month for Apple news and new Apple products, and I'm so close to 200,000 subscribers. So who knows, if we can reach 200,000 subscribers by the time the next iPhone or the next Apple Watch comes out, maybe we'll have to do a special giveaway on the channel. Actually, let me know. Do you think if I reach 200,000, should I do a giveaway? I've never done one before, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on what kind of giveaway it should be, and I think that'll be pretty interesting. So comment below if you think I should give a giveaway when I get to 200,000. But let's get back to the Series 7. So if you've been watching my channel or a few of the other Apple-centric channels out there, you probably already know a bunch of key details about the Apple Watch Series 7, but just to give you a quick refresher in case you've been living under a rock, we are expecting a brand new squared-off design for this year that will mimic the design language of recent Apple products like the iPad Pro, the iPhone 12, and of course that beautiful new M1 iMac that's right behind me. Love it. It seems like basically every Apple product, including some of those rumored MacBook Pros we've been hearing about, these are all getting that new design. They're all being influenced by that new squared-off design language. So it makes sense that the Apple Watch Series 7 would also be getting this design language too. We've seen lots of leaked renders, and some of my favorites are from John Prosser and renders by Ian, and I think these renders give you a pretty good idea on what the final design will look like for the Series 7, but I still think there will be some, a few surprises out there to make it look even better than these renders. The usual finished, polished product usually looks a lot better than the renders we get beforehand. But we do have a last-minute surprise leak, courtesy of Mark Gurman, which has a lot of tidbits on the Apple Watch Series 7 design. Gurman is currently reporting that the bezels on the Series 7 will be shrinking and that the display would be laminated closer to the glass as well. This reduction in bezel will supposedly make the screen size of the Series 7 bigger, with the smaller 40mm version moving up to a 41mm size, and the bigger 44mm Apple Watch moving up to 45mm in size. This larger display size sounds great, especially if the overall dimensions of the watch are staying relatively the same, and I think this will make the 41mm version a more attractive option for people who thought the 44mm was slightly too big, but still wanted a bigger display version than the 40mm version. In fact, if we look back at the previous Apple Watch design from the Series 0 to the Series 3, the 42mm size was the biggest size available at the time, so the 41mm version will be just 1mm away from what previously was the biggest Apple Watch size. Now, Gurman is also saying that because of these bigger display sizes, Apple will be adding in some new exclusive watch faces to go along with this new design. In fact, it should be a few new watch faces. As Gurman says, I'm told that Apple will bundle multiple new watch faces to take advantage of the bigger screen, including an updated infograph modular face. So no surprise there. Apple usually offers exclusive watch faces when there's a new screen size. And Yes, like Gurman said, I do expect that these new watch faces will be exclusive now to these bigger models. Just like when the Series 4 launched with its new screen size, it got some information-dense watch faces on those models, and those new watch faces did not make its way to the previous version, so sorry if you own a Series 6 or a Series 5 and you're not planning to upgrade, it looks like you're gonna miss out on some watch faces. Now, this is all kind of exciting because this year's design update is a lot more substantial than just changing how the casing looks. And it looks like we're actually going to see increased functionality out of this new design with the bigger display sizes. And of course, we also expect the physical footprint to get a little bit bigger as well. And that could also bring some benefits as well, most notably in the battery life department, because even a slightly bigger body means more room for bigger battery capacity. And Apple is also rumored to be including a double-sided system in a package for its new S7 chip, which could leave even more room inside the watch for a bigger battery. Gurman even notes that the Series 7 will feature a faster S7 chip, and the S7 chip happens to probably be more energy efficient. That, coupled together with the slight increase in battery size, could mean a boost in battery life to every Series 7 model. Now, going back to the 41 and 45mm sizing, I have also seen quite a few rumors floating around about Apple having new bands for the Series 7, and there have been a few leaked photos of the 41 and 45mm band sizes. Now, some people think that this means that Apple is going to be introducing a new watch band connector and that all previous versions of the Apple Watch bands will no longer work with the new design of the Series 7. And while that's certainly always a possibility out there, I also don't think Apple will be implementing that drastic of a change. Because the only other time Apple has changed sizing was with the Series 4, and that was a bigger size jump than what we are getting now. And if we look back at that instance, we saw watches moving up from 38 and 42mm to 40 and 44mm. And during that time period, we also got new watch bands with the 40 and 44mm sizing listed. However, those bands were still backwards compatible with older versions of the Apple Watch, and older bands still worked on the newer models. So even though the casing is changing and the bands will be marked as 41 and 45mm in size, I fully expect older bands to still be able to fit the new Series 7 model. I just feel like if Apple removed compatibility for older bands with how pricey they are and how much of a collection people have built up, there would be a mass outpouring of criticism if Apple did that. I mean, Timothy Cook, what am I gonna do with all these watch bands if you make them incompatible? I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these watch bands. Do you know how much I've sacrificed on these watch bands? I spent all of my life savings on them. I should have bought Bitcoin. All right, finally, let's talk about when you can get the Series 7, because if you've been paying attention to some of the rumors out there, you might know that Apple is facing some manufacturing issues with the new Series 7 display, and that they are getting lower unit yields than what they were initially expecting. Now, this has led to a lot of people to believe that the Series 7 will be delayed and won't even be announced at the September event. And I still think that Apple will announce the Series 7 at the September event next to the iPhone, and it will probably launch in limited quantities, meaning that if you want a Series 7 on launch day, you better be ready to pre-order the second it goes up. Or maybe a second possibility is that Apple could announce the watch alongside the iPhone and then ship it a few weeks later in October, if they want to make sure that there is ample enough supply for everyone. But personally, I think they'll probably just announce it and ship it in limited quantities, and then as that ramps up, then other people can get it. Either way, the Series 7 will be announced pretty soon, and I expect that, it will be at Apple's September event. And again, I think we can see press invites as early as tomorrow. So, the likely date for that Apple event, I think, based on looking at the calendar, is probably going to be Tuesday, September 14th, and the time for that event will be at 1 p.m. But so far, that's all the last minute details you need to know about the Series 7 and what to expect with those new display size changes. Don't forget, if you like this video and you made it this far, go ahead and subscribe because it's going to be a busy month. We're going to talk a lot about Apple stuff this month. And as always, I want to thank all of you for all the support in watching this video. If you got this far, obviously give it a like, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.